eBay sales for me at the minute are like a roller coaster. Like literally an actual roller coaster. If you look at the month sales graphs, I go from days of 0 sales, and then they climb up and hit a peak, usually about 200 quid, mind. And then they drop back down, 0 sales. Up to a peak, down. It's really weird. It is literally roller coastering. But today, right, that peak has hit £500 worth of sales in one day. A PB for me, and it started this morning breakfast time. A very welcome sale to start the day. I've only sold one item in the past 2 days, so I'll take any sale at the minute. But this was also pretty decent because it came in at the middle of the night. It's always good to wake up for a sale first thing, innit? Now, I keep all my pre-owned clothing in here, either in this box or on that bottom of the shelf there. I don't like keeping this type of stuff in the garage. Just keeps it safe up here, doesn't it? And here's the first sale of the day, a Lions shirt. It went for 14 quid as well. It's a kiddie size, 11 to 12. I'm just surprised by this. Lions shirts are really, really sticky. In fact, I don't generally pick them up. I don't know where I had this one from. I've had it for a while, that's for sure. But it's the Lions tour next year. So maybe that's sparking up a bit of interest. Now, with any sale that comes in at the middle of the night, I'm always thinking, oh, is it like a drunk purchase if someone just bought this, just spur of the moment? But actually, I've looked at the buyer's address and they live really close to me, actually, and they live down by the hospital. So maybe this is a nurse or a doctor coming in off of a night shift. I hope so, anyway. In fact, what I think I might do, I might drop this round to them rather than post it, because this one, I didn't get the free fees, and I guess it's because I listed it under the sports category rather than the clothing category. So free postage, that might offset the fees. This is where I keep all my retro games. PS2 on the bottom, PS3 in the middle, and PS1 at the top. I'm making an effort to try and clear some of this out though. And second sale of the day coming in before I start work is this platinum version of Final Fantasy VII. You can see there, I've got the black label version. So I decided, look, there's no point in having the platinum version as well. Now, typically this sells for about 18, something like that. But you can see big crack on the front, a little bit of staining on the cover as well. It's not perfect condition, so I let that go for 16. I'm working from home today, but I've got to take a break from it this morning to handle this sale. Sports cars I got listed on eBay, I keep up here. Have a look at this sticker here. From 2003, 2004, this is from the Merlin sticker album, Premier League, Cristiano Ronaldo. One of his first stickers in a Manchester United kit. And who doesn't love a shiny? This sticker, right, I bought years ago, and I mean years ago. I bought it raw off of eBay. I would have paid 30 quid, something like that. And I decided to send this off to PSA and get it graded. Well, this was at the point where stickers and sports cards were selling for crazy money and everyone was sending their stuff to PSA. I think it took 18 months or 2 years to come back, and by that time, the bubble had burst a little bit. It's come back at PSA 8. Now in 2021, was that 3 years ago? A PSA 9 of this sold for £1,000. Obviously coming back in 8, it's not going to get that much, but I was pretty excited by this. But like I said, when it come back, the prices had dipped. I listed this up for 300 quid, and it's been listed on eBay for over 18 months. Well, guy messaged me today and said, look, would I be willing to negotiate a price? And it's been up there for so long, right? Of course I said yes. He found a recent sold listing of a BGS 8 for 210 American dollars. So I said, yeah, I'd be happy to match that. But then when he did the calculation to convert it into pounds, it was only coming up at about 160 quid. Like, I was thinking $210 would be closer to 210 pounds. I was thinking at that price, do I just want to hold on to it for a bit longer? Ronaldo might hit 1,000 career goals, and if he does, will we see his prices spike a little bit? But then I thought, actually, this has been listed for so long, I haven't really had too much interest in it. What happens if he doesn't hit that milestone of goals? Or what happens if he does hit the milestone of goals and it does absolutely nothing to his prices? I said to him, I thought 106 is a bit cheap. Would you go 180? And he accepted. Still in two minds whether I should have sold it for 180. You know, I've had it for long enough. I'm not missing the money. Is it worth keeping that for the gamble? Let me know what you would have done. State of this weather. Next sale's in the garage, so I gotta go out and show you it. Where even is it? Ah, there it is. I don't know what I was thinking when I bought this kind of Lego IKEA collaboration stuff. I bought a few boxes of this and a few storage boxes as well. In my mind, I thought this might be a limited run that IKEA did and then they discontinue it. Well, they just haven't. You can still buy this on the IKEA store for about £8.50 brand new. Though I do think it's harder to find actually in the shops. I mean, it's still definitely in the shops. So I probably paid £8.50 for that. And I've sold it for £8. So I've lost money on the actual item. And I'm going to have to pay postage. And I'm going to have to pay fees. What a shocker. Still, we're talking small change, aren't we? That's a lesson learned. When I'm working from home, lunchtimes I go to the gym. And this lunchtime, I was negotiating the price of a Scalextric car in between sets. So I picked up a Formula 1 Jenson Button McLaren in the charity shop, what was that, Wednesday, for £2. Listed it up, it had all the original box. It was definitely used before because it wasn't attached in the box, but it was in great condition. And Darren, a repeat buyer, come on and bought it. Now Darren, I'm not sure if you watched the channel, you didn't message to say you did, but if you do, shout out to you. Appreciate the support. Or you could just be a random Scalextric collector, I don't know. But either way, we agreed £22.50 Formula 1 Scalextric car. Did I price this one up too cheap? I only listed it last night and it's sold already today. Wii box. What I got here is a 2012 London Olympics edition blue Nintendo Wii. All the cables, leads, everything you'd expect. When I bought it, it just had one remote. But then I managed to find a second remote at a car boot sale. So I bundled all of that together, listed it up for £55. Now that right is sold really, really quick. And for me, that's always a warning sign. Did I price up too cheap? But I based it on sold listings. And that was auctions, buy it nows. They were all coming around that price. Some of them had games with them. Some of them didn't. Some of them had boxes. Some of them didn't. I kind of just aimed down the middle. I've picked this up as part of a Facebook Marketplace bundle. I've already sold off some of the other Wii remotes. I've sold off some of the games. I took some of the games down CEX. So even if I have sold it off a bit cheap as a bundle, still done all right for me. So knocking on the door of a £300 sales day. I've only had a couple of these before, and those were heavily influenced by large single sales. I know I sold a Lewis Hamilton card, SGC graded 9. That went for £300 on its own. And I know that Cristiano Ronaldo card has carried today, or a large portion of today, but there are a nice variety of sales that are coming through and just adding to that total. And offers just come in though. And it is so tempting. I'm not being influenced just because it could push me into £300. But this is going to push me into 400s, banging on a £500 day. I'm just talking to you now. I got to accept it. Have a look at this banger here. Lego Ninjago Lightning Dragon set number 2521. This is a really sought after set, right? I got the dragon, I got the helicopter, I got the manuals, and in this bag here, minifigures and a few extra bits to complete those. Right, this is how sought after it is. Some of the minifigures on their own, they would go for about £30 each. I think you could sell that dragon head on its own as a spare piece, again for about £30. There was only 3 of these listed up on eBay, and mine was the cheapest at 210. If you've got the box right, people are asking silly money. I've had this listed up for 2 weeks. I've had a few offers of about 150, 160. One went up to 180, but they wanted global shipping and the guy had like hardly any feedback. Offer came in today. £195. Now I bought this when we were away last summer. I found it in a charity shop. Like, I think they'd priced up individually. They priced the dragon at something, the helicopter at something, and the minifigures were just in a big bag of minifigures. I bought it all. I think I paid £50 for this with lots of other sets as well. And those have sold already. This was the last one to sell. Lego is so popular, right? And if you can find the right sets and you're willing to put the time in to build it all, maybe source some of the missing pieces just to make it all complete, you can get some really good returns. £195. So it's early afternoon. Just got to finish off the day and work here. Only £9.50 off of the £500 sales day. A PB. Well, I'm already on a PB, but it would be nice to get it over that nice round number. And hopefully only one more sale should do it. Still plenty of time. There's plenty of time. Just hope it comes in. So that's a working day done. No more sales to show you yet, mind. Now I'm off to do some football coaching. I run the under 6s and the under 8s, and then when I get back, I've scheduled a YouTube live. I really enjoyed the last one, actually. It was great to just catch up with like so many of you. So I might make that a regular thing. I mean, if you caught the last one, let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed it, let me know that as well. And of course, if you're enjoying this video, hit like and hit subscribe. Hopefully in the live tonight, I'll be able to share with you that I've hit that 500 total. Really enjoyed that live tonight. Every time I do a live, I always come away with this real big buzz and then there's this come down after it. But I didn't think we were going to hit 500, but 2 of you guys who were in the live stream jumped on my eBay store and picked up a couple of items to push me over the top. Firstly, shout out David who picked this old school FA Cup winners card, one of the early David Beckham cards in a Man United kit, honours, records. That went for £8. So I was still £1.50 short. So shout out to Nick from Oliver Breaks. Jumped in and then picked these 2 David Beckham Futera cards up for a tenner. I've actually graded these before and then sold them off graded and they went pretty well. So Nick, if you're watching, you might have a bit of luck with that too. So a £500 sales day, and that pushed my 90-day total to over £7,000 as well. And for me, that is 2 really important metrics that I use to measure the success of my business. Now, I know not everybody sees turnover like that, and a lot of people are focused in on the profit, right? Truth is, I don't really know how much profit I've made off of these individual items. I mean, I could work it out item by item if I measured my business like that. For example, the Lego, I know I'm on negative profit that, so I'd use that metric to know not to buy that again. The Final Fantasy game, for example, I bought that using CX vouchers, but I don't know how many games or DVDs I've bought and then traded in, so how much I've paid to get that money back. I mean, I know I would have made money on it, but I don't know the exact amounts. Now, my average profit margin is about 15%, and my average sale price is about £15, and those items post as a second-class small parcel. So £15, take off your postage costs, take off your fees. I might have spent £2-3 on the item. Every £15 I sell on eBay, I see 7 or 8 quid. 50% profit margin, right? But for the larger sales, those profit margins will be a lot higher. Take this Ronaldo sticker, for example. I paid £30 for the sticker. It's cost me £10 to grade it. I've then sold it through eBay, so I paid fees on that. And I'm going to have to pay on the postage to get it to the buyer. So from a £180 sale, I'm probably seeing £100 profit after all of those expenses. But last week in the charity shop, right, I paid £90 on loads of jeans and a pair of shoes and a wrestling belt. Well, none of that has actually sold yet, and some of that is not even on eBay. So yeah, I may have made £100 on that item, but I've had a £90 expenditure last week. The only time I really look at profit per individual item is at the point of purchase. If I see something in the charity shop for a couple of quid, I'll look on sold listings and think, okay, I might be able to sell it for that amount. So in my head, I'm working out what profit I'm making off of that item at that point. That is it. That is the only time I will use that metric. I kind of use it in my eBay videos when I'm showing you some of the things that are sold on eBay, but that's more just about entertainment and have a bit of shock factor. I picked some up for £1, I've sold it for £100. But I've tended to go away from that because it doesn't give you the whole business context of it. The way I measure the success of how my eBay store is doing is literally total amount in versus total amount out. So start of this financial year, early April, I've literally itemized every single expense. Item cost, postage, packaging, everything. It's all in an itemized day by day expense. Every month then I'm using the eBay spreadsheets and I'm exporting how much income I'm getting off of eBay every month. That gives me a rolling picture of in versus out so I can monitor my cash flow. And this eBay income month by month is a really important metric for me, and I've been building up this picture over the last 4 years. I can see how my eBay business works in cycles. Now historically I can see from those numbers that October and November are my busiest months for sales where I bring in the most income, and that's why having a £500 income day in October is really encouraging, because that implies to me that this trend is going to continue this year as well. What it means is I can look at how the previous years have performed, the cycles in those previous years, and apply them to this year. So I can forecast ahead and I can see what my business is going to look like in a few months' time, or predicted anyway. And as we know, reselling and eBay can be so unpredictable. So if there are some trends that you can pull year by year and things are looking to be quite consistent, I think that's a powerful thing. So guys, if you enjoyed this video, hit that like, hit that subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.